A long time ago, we made up a mnemonic for scene safety. We called it STEP, as in the first step on an EMS call needs to be your safety, so STEP. The S stood for shields, the T stood for threats, the E stood for escape routes, and the P stood for partners. And the idea was that you needed to put your shields up before you could identify a specific threat. So we always were wearing gloves, not just when we identified that there was a body substance isolation issue. And that extends to all sorts of things in terms of violence and almost every other sort of hazard, whether it be traffic or anything else. So the S, again, stood for shields, and you needed to be thinking about that first. And so have gloves on, probably, goggles with you, face mask with you. It would certainly go also to bunker gear, and maybe even things like cover and concealment, where you were identifying shields to someone trying to shoot you as you arrive at the scene prior to identifying that there was someone there to shoot you when you arrived at the scene. So things like not walking together, not having a flashlight right in front of your face, maybe identifying a tree or a vehicle or something you could get behind. And then identifying threats, a full range of an attempt to identify all threats that were there. Then the E in STEP was for escape routes, and we wanted to emphasize to always think about your way out. And it probably is your way in reverse, but it may not always be. The particular thing that came up was if you're down a narrow hallway in a back bedroom, say a mobile home or a small apartment or something, and you're clear in the back and there's only one real exit for you to get to, making sure that that escape route was not jammed up with people, whether they were our folks or whether they were other people, and making sure that if you needed to leave, you could leave emergently without having to climb over 6 people. And then the P was about partners, thinking in terms of working in twos in most EMS situations, or in crews of 3, 4, 5, or whatever we have for medicals, and so constantly maintaining awareness of where they are. And so we were trying to implement this with the initial walk in and take a peek around, scene safe, BSI kind of thing, trying to get across that maybe your initial scan is scene safety, but there needs to be ongoing situational awareness, continual scan. And if you're going to engage in something, if you're going to be task saturated, if you're going to be physically focused on something, then someone's got to have your back, and the whole cover and concealment thing ties in there. So STEP was the mnemonic that we came up with. It was invented here, not available in stores, not sure it got widespread play, but I still think it makes some sense. Shields, threats, escape routes, and partners.